Hello and good morning. Welcome to this morning's video edition of Traders Espresso for Tuesday, February 27th, 2018. And for starters, Monday was a very strong start to the week. The rally from Friday continued. However, that rally did not follow the sun as Asian markets and European markets. Asian markets closed mixed. European markets are mixed at this hour. So that bullishness did not necessarily follow. The Dow was up almost 400 points yesterday. The S&P was up 32. The NASDAQ was up 84, and the Russell 2000 was up 10. So the Dow was the leader, up just about 1.6%, and the Russell trailed between 6 and 0.7%. So actually 0.65%. So seeing some disparity in the strengths of the markets. If we take a look at this, the Fibonacci lines here, this is a Fibonacci drawn from the recent high on the 26th to the low that was set on the 9th. And we can see that the Dow yesterday was able to break above the 61.8 and close well above it. The S&P was already above it, so and the NASDAQ as well. So, not necessarily anything terribly meaningful there other than approaching the 73.6 level of retracement, which is a minor retracement level. On the NASDAQ and the NASDAQ composite, they are poised to retake their highs that were set on the 29th. So you can see this is the NASDAQ 100, that the NASDAQ 100 is well within striking distance of its high. So it'll be very interesting to see what we do here. Does it hit and then back off, or is it able to close and set new highs? The testimony, or the prepared text of the testimony for Jerome Powell. He's the chair of the Fed. The new Fed chair, Jerome Powell, is going to be appearing before the House Financial Services Committee at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Prepared text of his prepared testimony was released an hour and a half before, so that means it came out a little over half an hour ago. Initially, futures were lower on the release of the remarks. Yields had gone higher. Prior to those remarks being released, the futures were already pointing to a lower or a softer open. So as investors parse the text of his testimony, and as Chair Powell actually delivers that testimony, we'll see the impact that has on markets. The main thrust of what he's expected to say is that the strength of the economy, that the Fed is prepared to continue on its current path of, I'm not sure that he used the word current because language is very important when it comes to these Fed statements, but is prepared to continue on a path of tightening as economic conditions warrant. Trying to be very coy about saying whether or not we're going to be on the existing rate path or are we going to go on a more aggressive rate path. One thing that I'm reading is that Jerome Powell is prepared to, or maybe I should say is not prepared to have the Fed's monetary policy yield in any way to the administration's fiscal policy. And so this may set the Fed up for a conflict with the current administration. As I mentioned before, Steve Mnuchin is on record in an interview with Bloomberg on Thursday as saying that the fiscal policy does not have to mean inflation. So he didn't say necessarily that it's not going to lead to inflation, just says it's not a foregone conclusion, trying to soften or temper investor expectations. Not sure how that played out. I mean, I think that those remarks had been forgotten by the time Friday rolled around. They certainly didn't influence, or they may have influenced, the rally on Friday and the continuation of the rally that occurred on Thursday. But at this hour, the yield on the index for the 10-year yield is actually down. It was up before about, I think, 0.7%. It's now down 14 basis points. The dollar index is up. That is up 0.2%. Volatility, no read on volatility for the Russell, but volatility on the S&P, the main VIX, is up just shy of 3%. VIX futures are up about the same amount, about 2.3%. And as you can see right now, futures are still pointing lower, although they seem to be off of their lows of the the morning session, the pre-session. Gold is down, as are pretty much all other commodities. Energies, metals, and soft agricultural commodities were all down the last time I checked. So that's kind of the picture of what we're going into as the market prepares to open in about 23 minutes. So good luck trading, everybody, and we'll see you on the other side of the live cast.